wake up, charts glowing like a sunrise dream. Coffee in my cup, got the tickers on the screen. Wallet looking heavy, but my heart stay light. Stacking sets, not stress, yeah, we'll be alright. Late nights in the bear zone, learn to fight alone. Now the green candles burning through the monochrome. Every dip's a lesson, every loss a line. We're writing our story one block at a time. Well, good morning, crypto, the world's still spinning slow. But our coins keep climbing where the fiat won't go. Another day, another chance to grow. So plug in the stream, let the markets flow. Screens flash red, but I don't lose faith. Pain breeds patience, that's the trader's grace. From the bottom to the top, we just play our role. Turn volatility into solid gold. We've been broke, we've been bold, chasing dreams that can't be sold. Every block, every code, it's the anthem of the new age road. Good morning, crypto, yeah, it's time to go. Stack your dreams, let the future show. We ride the waves through the highs and lows. Good morning, crypto, let the whole world know. Wake up, log in light that spark. The bull's out early, let's make our mark.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours in the morning into your edge and financial freedom. Today, I don't have any headlines. I do have a few things to talk about. We'll get to that when we get to that stock heat map, but I kind of just wanted to focus on the markets, you know? It's not very often that we just do a whole bunch of TA, but today felt like a great day to do that. So, nice and early into the show, go ahead, throw some assets that you'd like me to take a look at today, and we can get to that. I do want to go over my normal assets, you know, Bitcoin, take a look at the Dixie, we'll take a look at gold as well, but we'll have plenty of time today to go over anything that you want to take a look at today. So go ahead, throw those in the chat bright and early, and we will get to those in just a second. But before we get to all of that, let's get you prepped for some success today, because we do have a bit of some movement going on in the pre-market. So as you can see over here, we've got some nice green boxes from Friday, and we're continuing on that trend today. We've got Apple up 0.75% this morning. It does have an earnings report coming out in 3 days, so keep your eye on that. We've got Nvidia up 2.55% this morning. We've got Berkshire Hathaway down 0.28%. It's got earnings in 7 days. That'll be not this week, but next week, so keep your eyes out for that one. We've got Amazon up 2.11% this morning, and it's got earnings in 3 days as well. So big week for some earnings. Make sure to stay tuned for those movements, because I do think we get some movements off of these earnings. We've got Eli Lilly down 0.21% this morning. but it's also got earnings in 3 days, so might be some movements in preparation for that. We've got ExxonMobil down 0.25%, and it's got earnings in 4 days. We've got Tesla up 1.65%. We've got P&G down 0.47%. We've got Microsoft up 1.25%, and it's got earnings in 2 days. So keep your eye out for that one. We've got Google up 2.02%, and it's also got earnings in 2 days. And to wrap it on out, we've got Meta up 1.23%, and it's got earnings in 2 days as well. So a big week for some earnings. Make sure to keep your eyes on some of those earnings that are going to be coming out this week, because we will get a little bit of volatility off of that. We've also got the crypto side of things looking extremely green as well. We do have a few outliers today. XLM and XRP are sitting a little bit in the red, and we might need to take a look at those charts. We can take a look at that XRP chart, and if you want me to take a look at XLM, we can do that as well. We had MP requested and USAR as well. So we can take a look at both of those. You asked for gold as well, Jay. We were already going to take a look at that one, so we can get that one as well. But getting on into this, we've got Bitcoin up 2.1%. We've got Ethereum up 4.6%. We've got BNB up 2.4%. XRP losing a spot in the market cap from BNB, sitting down 0.1%, but it's up 0.4 on the hourly. We've got Solana up 2.6, Doge up 2.1. We've got Tron sitting up 8% right now. Cardano's up 2.2. We've got Chainlink up 2.7. Hyperliquid up 1.5. We've got Bitcoin Cash up 7.2%. Stellar Lumens also sitting a little bit in the red, down 0.9%. Lost a spot in the market cap to Bitcoin Cash. We've got Shui sitting up 2.7, Avalanche up 3%. We've got Leo token holding steady today. HBAR taking a spot in the market cap from Litecoin, sitting up 1.3%, and Litecoin sitting up 1%. I saw Virtuals requested as well. We can take a look at that one. And then Jesse asked for Soros. We can take a look at that one as well. Never heard of that one, but we can definitely take a look at it. We've got that fear and greed meter for the stock side of things still sitting in some fear, not too unexpected. We have been seeing a little bit of some worry on the Trump news going out with those markets. Might have a deal coming up. We will kind of have to keep our eye on that one. There was some rumors coming out over the weekend that a potential deal was going to be coming out between China and Trump and us, but we will kind of have to see if that is long lasting or if it's just the next little volatility towards the upside before a little more news that kind of sends things to the downside. We've got the crypto side of things looking neutral though. Massive moves towards the upside as we've got back to a level I was calling out last week. We'll kind of have to see if we can get some continuation or if we just kind of range a little bit sideways. We do have a little bearishness on some of those mid time frames, so we'll get to that in just a second. But this daily has a little bit of liquidity towards the bottom side to kind of keep your eye on if we lose some of the key levels that we got above over the weekend. We do have that liquidity sitting all the way down at 112,600 and ranging all the way down to 112,400. So nice little area to the downside to keep your eye on. We will see if we can hold one of the key levels that we're at right now and then continue on towards the upside, or if we end up losing that key level and coming and grabbing some of that bottom side liquidity. We did talk about some top side movements last week, and we ended up grabbing a bunch of that liquidity that was above us. We had some at 114,600 and again at 115,800. So those two areas that we ended up grabbing with that move towards the upside, and we'll kind of have to see if we now come back down and grab up some of this liquidity. We've got some all the way down at 110,000 as well. Zooming this on out just a little bit further here so we can really see some of that top side liquidity that we had talked about last week. This was that big area that we were talking about. We'll have to zoom it out just a little bit further and take a look at that 1 month to really see where that top side liquidity was. And we had some all the way back up here at the highs before we really got that strong move towards the downside. Looks like some of those stop losses have been changed. We do have a little bit of liquidity up at 132,000. Coincidentally, that's kind of that next little target I was looking for a new all-time high on Bitcoin, but we'll have to get through some other levels first. And let's get over to that Bitcoin chart to kind of talk it on out. And before we get into the chartery, let's say good morning to the people. Got that daily all zoomed out for you so you can see that a little bit better. We've got several people in the chat this morning. We had Dylan VA first in the chat this morning. Good morning to you, sir. We got Jay in here. We've got Ada Ace and Steve Hickey. Good morning to all of you. Hope you're having a great day so far. We got Donata Cabrera in the house. Good morning. We've got Jesse Gluck in here. Good morning to you, sir. We got Curtis Hill as well. Hope you're having a great day so far. Let's see who else we got in here. We got Celephant in the house. Good morning to you. Hope you're having a great day. She said it's snowing here and a moose is walking through my yard. Touch some grass while you still can. That's that Alaska weather for you. Definitely sounds like an Alaska type thing when you're talking about mooses walking through your yard. But I hope you're staying warm. And let's see if we can get you a little bit of some extra money today. We've got Chadwick in the house. Good morning to you. Hope you're having a great day. We had a few requests in here as well. We had Saros, Virtuals, USAR, MP, Gold was requested. We can take a look at that. Celephant talking about the CME gap. We will definitely bring that up because a lot of this move towards the upside over the weekend has created a CME gap that we will have to keep our eye on to see if we come back down and close. That's where if we don't end up holding at one of these key levels I'm about to talk about, you might end up coming to the downside and really close out that CME gap. We've got Nash Mao 5. Good morning to you. We've got NBF Forum in the house. Good morning to you. Hope you're having a great day so far. Ada Ace talking about Ada hit to 786, the dynamic reactor, and printing a bullish divergence, but falling right now. Well, we can take a look at Ada as well. Let me get that one on the list. Ada. All right. We've got a few alt requests and a few stock requests. So after we get through this Bitcoin chart, we can get into some of those here. We've got this daily getting that move back up towards the upside. We had talked about this CME gap this fair value gap last week. This was an area of interest towards us towards the upside. We did need to see if we could hold this once we got back up to it. And we're right above it now. This is one of those key levels we had talked about. It's the golden pocket, the bottom side of that fair value gap, coming in at 114,800. Nice little area to kind of see if we can hold us some support and continue on towards the upside off of. If we don't, coming back down, really touching on that CME gap might be something to kind of keep your eye on. Getting over to those futures there, you can see the CME gap that we just created over the weekend starts at 110,900 and goes all the way up to 113,400. So nice little area to kind of keep your eye on. That will be an area of interest if we don't hold that golden pocket and the bottom side of this fair value gap here. That is a key level to really continue on towards the upside off of. If we don't, coming on back down, really closing out that CME gap and making sure that this 111,800 is our strong support to continue off of would be that move I would watch for. We are still sitting with some green money flow here on the daily, so we'll kind of have to see if we can continue with that momentum on the shorter term time frame here. You've got that curvature towards the upside on both your prime oscillator and your MACD, and what's really going to hold us up is the lack of volume on the daily. So that's that big thing to kind of watch for. Keep your eye on 114,800 to see if we can hold that level, and if not, coming back down might be that move to watch for. We do have this 4-hour looking a little bit toppy here, so that does bring a little bit of concern to kind of keep your eye on. Doesn't mean that you can't continue to the upside, because this money flow's looking nice and green here. Plenty of green money flow to kind of hold price up in our current range. You can just cool off with some sideways momentum on the bottom side of that CME gap, or you could continue that blast towards the upside if we have that nice strong money flow on the shorter term time frame. We're starting to see that volume really increase on the 4-hour, and that's kind of what you want to bleed over into the daily time frame there to really continue us up towards the upside. We're holding the bottom side of this fair value gap quite nicely, but if we lose that, the downside does look a little worrisome, because we did talk about that $110,000 mark. That's pretty much where we got that launch off of over the weekend, and this is all just a big CME gap to keep your eye on. We do have this 1-hour looking like it's seeing a little bit of some bouncing action, but we've got some resistance directly above us. I did enter along off of that bottom side of the CME gap. I did hit TP1, and we're just waiting to see if we can continue with some of this momentum for now. We do have a peak seeker indicator here on this hourly. Our money flow still holding in the green, and your volume's looking a little bit nice for now, but things are looking a little bit stagnant on the shorter term time frame, and we will get to that in just a second here. We've got several bearish divergences that have stacked up here on the hourly, and that could give you a little bit of some downside if you end up losing that 114,800. That could give you a lot of downside. That first real area of interest on the shorter term time frame is going to be our fair value gap here, which is sitting inside the CME gap. Let me get that drawn out real quick so you can see it a little bit better here. We've got that coming in. I guess my magnet is on there. We've got that coming in from 113,580 all the way up to 114,400. So this is that first real area of interest. If you end up losing 114,800, where we could start seeing a little bit of money flow and volume kicking on in. This is within that CME gap, so a gap within a gap to kind of keep your eye on. And if that's going to be the area of interest if we end up losing that bottom side. For now, we've got a little bit of momentum on the shorter term time frame with that money flow on the hourly, where we could continue on towards the upside just a little bit here. So you do have an area of resistance directly above us to kind of keep your eye on. Let me get that horizontal ray drawn on out here. It's coming in off of our equal candle bodies, and it comes in at 116,200. So let me get that a little bit thinner so you know that's the shorter term time frame. That's that area of interest for me. It is my second TP. It does look like we're seeing a little bit of stagnation here, but we're getting a little bit of some curvature towards the upside here on the hourly, so you could see a little bit more sideways momentum or a little more sideways momentum coming in on that prime oscillator, get that little bit of a push towards the upside, and then have that stronger rejection towards the downside. That would give you a little bit more ability to hold that 114,800 to maintain a little bit of bullishness. Let's get this 15-minute and the morning drawn on up here, see what we're looking at here. Like I said, I did enter off of this candle way down here. That was at, I guess, 4 a.m. there. We've got 4:45. So I entered down here on the bottom side of this old fair value gap. Saw a little bit of bouncing action. I was waiting for that money flow to really start coming back in. I started to see that curvature on our prime oscillator. Really waiting to see if we can continue with that push towards the upside. Like I said, my first TP was at these very equal candle bodies where I thought we might see some resistance. And I've got a secondary take profit all the way up there. So I have taken a little bit of money off the table, really waiting to see if we can get that continuation into the morning though, before we see that rejection towards the downside. You do have a secondary resistance area way up here at 116,600 that I would keep my eye on. It is the midline of that old fair value gap and would give us a little more harsher rejection, but gives us a better ability to hold this area down here to really continue towards the upside off of. So few areas towards the upside to kind of keep your eye on. If we can get above 116 and then see a little resistance at 116.6, you could see that support at 116 to try to get that continuation all the way up to the top side of this old fair value gap, all the way up at 118,400. So that's kind of one bullish move that we can do. The other area of interest would be that move towards the downside, seeing our strong resistance around that midline and really push us back towards the downside and see if we revisit that CME gap and this first fair value gap here. So few areas of interest for us to keep your eye on, and we'll see how this morning plays out. How high we can get depends on how low we will go. So a lot of money flow coming in this morning, so I am looking for a little continuation towards the upside before we get a little bit of a push towards the downside. All right, we had several alt requests to go over this morning. Let's see what we got going on. We've got Silver Days XRP in here. Good morning to you, sir. Hope you're having a great day so far. Virtual staking off. Would not be surprised if AIXBT goes parabolic. Well, we can take a look at AIXBT2 if we've got the time. AIXBT. It is 6:04 and we got plenty of time to go over some assets this morning. We've got Infinite Team TA in the house. Good morning to you, sir. Hope you're having a great day. What's the stocks pre-market looking like? Most of everything this morning on the stock side of thing is sitting in the green. Some of my favorite assets are sitting up extremely hard. So getting over this, we've got OKLO, one of my favorite nuclear stocks. We did get a little bit of a dip. I did tell everyone that I was taking some profits at 145 when we got 146 when we got that dip below our golden pocket. I ended up doing some buying last week down here at 108, and we got that move back towards the upside here, and that pre-market is opening up quite heavily towards the upside. So we are seeing quite a bit of some movements towards the upside on the stock market. Someone asked for a look at gold. We can do that real quick. I had a comparison here to the Dixie. Let me get that off of there. And then we can get some of that gold chart brought back up here. We had a horizontal ray to keep our eye on. Trend-based fib extension. Let me get that. Okay, there we go. That's that higher term time frame one. And I think that's it for now. And we will get this zoomed on in from the weekly. Take a look at that daily chart here, because gold was seeing some sell off. I did call out a level I would like to keep my eye on to potentially see a little bit of bouncing action at as we get this cool off. and that area was coming in at 3,942,000. We are rejecting off of that area I had talked about. We got that move back up towards it to really kind of sweep out some liquidity. That was that move to 4,155, and then we continued towards the downside off of that. That was that move we were kind of watching for, and this lower entry down here coming in at 3,942 is that first area of interest. We do have the platinum pocket directly below that, so if we can't really hold that area where we've got 3 bounces off of before, looking at that platinum pocket to try to hold as support might be that area to kind of watch for. If we can't hold that platinum pocket, it would be a little bit worrisome on some lower entries, and we'd kind of have to keep our eye way down at this golden pocket area. That's $3,738. That'd be a massive sell-off on some gold, but it would give some nice entry points for a continuation towards the upside off of. You do have this hourly also looking a little bit nice for some pumping coming soon, but you would need some money flow to start coming on in here. As you can see, you started that downtrend after that nice little rejection off that area we were looking for, and you're seeing quite a bit of sell-off this morning. You've got that nice big candle that pushed us towards the downside. You saw a little bit of buying pressure stepping on in, but now we're rolling through that support area, and I'd look for a little bit of a lower entry. You are starting to see that true 7 clip out. Normally it takes a little bit of time for that true 7 to clip out to really give you that pushback towards the upside on. So I do expect to continue to see a little bit of sell off on some gold for now as the stock market kind of gets those movements towards the upside before you start seeing some money flow coming back in. Money flows in the red here on the hourly, and you could definitely continue towards the downside just a little bit further before you start seeing that bouncing action. So 3,942, that real area of interest for me. That was gold for you. Let's take a look at a few of these stocks here. We had USAR. Let me get that one pulled up. USAR. Now, I know I did some charting on it before. I guess my charting isn't on this one. Maybe it was on another tab here. I believe it was on this one. USAR. Yeah, there's my charting. We were looking for a CME gap to kind of end up being that area of entry for us. Looks like we did try to hold the bottom side of that CME gap. We get that push back up towards our golden pocket, and this golden pocket is a very strong resistance area. That was coming in at $25, and we saw plenty of rejection off that point. We are now sitting below the CME gap in the pre-market, and we did talk about some lower levels to keep your eye on here. That first area of interest is going to be this platinum pocket. That was that better entry point that I was kind of talking about here. Looks like it might come to play. That's $19.94. Nice little area to see some price holding up at. If you can't hold price up in that area, you've got a nice little entry zone at $19.06. So that's where we see some rejections off of from that move towards the upside. Let me get that horizontal ray drawn out there. Make it a higher term time frame one. There we go. Let's lock it as well. And if we don't hold this platinum pocket area, that is a nice little area to kind of potentially watch for some entry points. It is directly below that platinum pocket there. We saw several rejections off of it before we got that solid break through it. It's also a fair value gap. Looks like it's a little bit under the midline of it. As you can see, let's get that fair value gap drawn off from that wick to that wick there. Magnets are annoying sometimes when you're charting. There we go. That fair value gap, as you can see, it's barely under that midline. So that's a nice little area to kind of keep your eye on for an entry point on USAR. I still don't know a whole lot about this company, but it is seeing a little bit of some rollover here on the hourly. Let's see what that daily time frame is looking like though. Definitely could see a little more cool off. As you can see here, we got a massive move towards the upside, and to see a little bit of sell off, not too unexpected. So that's why we had talked about that first area of interest being the CME gap, in which we saw us completely break through, and this next area of interest is going to be that fair value gap area and the platinum pocket. So $19 to about $20 might be a nice area to kind of pick some up at, and then see if we can get some continuation towards the upside on. Money flow still sitting in the green here, but could very easily start hitting that red if you start breaking below that platinum pocket and go a whole lot further here. So keep your eye on that. We do have a little bit of some lower entry points below that if we don't hold the platinum pocket, and we can call those out at another time there. So that'd be that next real area I'd kind of keep my eye on there. That was USAR. Let's take a look at MP. Let's get over to the stock page. I'm not sure if I've charted. I do think I've charted this one before. Let's take a look. MP. No, MP. And it looks like we did our charting on this tab as well. So, looks like that pre-market is opening up below that 382 there. That was probably that area of interest that we were calling out on MP Materials Corp. So definitely an area that looks like it's going to be some resistance for now. As you can see, we got that quick fall through it. We wicked below the 382. What gets wicked often gets candlesticked, and it looks like we're now going to have a little bit of a battle to get above the 382 here. So looking for some lower areas of interest, as this money flow has started to wane off just a little bit on the higher term time frame, might be what we need to look for. Let me get this magnet tool turned off. There we go. We got a few areas of interest directly below us, coming in at $65.65. That's the lows from there. We did fall just a little bit short of getting to that level, and we will kind of have to see if we get to that this time. So if we don't hold price up there, looking for another lower entry point would be kind of where we see these very equal candle bodies down here. We've got an area of interest at about $62.64. We've got a few levels towards the downside that might give us a little bit of some support at. Nice little entry points as well for the longer term time frame, because that daily does look like it has a little bit of some sideways momentum coming on in here on that prime oscillator and MACD, and we'll kind of have to see if that hourly keeps with that sell off here, because this hourly money flow looks extremely worrisome. That pre-market opening up heavily towards the downside, below the lows from here before we got that push towards the upside. You're seeing heavy curvature on your MACD and your prime oscillator as well. Prime oscillator maintaining in the green, so we'll kind of have to see if we can get that bouncing action off of that lower level to give us a little bit of some continuation. We are looking like this might be a little bit of a break of trend here, as you do have slightly higher lows here, but this could be that point that really gives us that lower low. So kind of keep your eye on that. If you don't maintain these levels down here, we do have some areas of interest way down here at the CME gap that I would keep my eye on as a potential entry point if you see some harsher sell off. So let's get that CME gap drawn on out for you, and we will keep our eye on that. That is coming in at $53 and goes all the way to below that golden pocket there to about $42, and let's get it drawn out better, $49 there. So a little bit of an area of entry for us if we don't maintain some of this range here. As you can see, price moved very quickly through this area, so it might be an interesting area to come and retest on. Let's get that CME gap locked for you. There you go. You can kind of see comes in line with that midline. Nice little area of entry if you can't maintain this 50% area where you might see some short-term bouncing at, but if that money flow starts to head into the red here on the hourly and you see that start bleeding over into your higher term time frames, lower entry points are what I would kind of look for. This did get that massive move towards the upside as well, and you've got another CME gap way down here at that $42 area that we were talking about. That might be the area of interest if you can't hold the golden pocket. So at another time we can come back at this one and see what we're looking like for MP. We did have several alt requests here. We got French Toaster in the house. Good morning, sir. I hope you're having a great day so far. We had another alt request. We'll get it on the list, see if we got time for it. So we got a few assets to kind of blast through. We had ADA requested. I know Ada Ace talked about it on that 15-minute time frame. So let's take a look at the hourly and the 15-minute, see what's going on there. Got a lot of levels to kind of keep our eye on. We got that rejection off of 72 cents. That was an area we're kind of watching for. We've got our strong support directly below us at 62 cents though. So we are looking to see if we can get above this golden pocket. We've got a lot of momentum heading our way as that prime oscillator and MACD are both getting some curvature towards the upside here. And we're really waiting to see if this volume kind of switches on up here and gives us a little bit of some moves towards the upside. Daily is looking kind of nice. We've got our hourly here also trying to get a little bit of some cool off, so we might have to look for a little bit of a lower entry point before we can continue on towards the upside here. I know he talked about that 15-minute, so let's take a look at that in just a second. And we do have 62 cents being a nice little area on the short-term time frame to kind of keep your eye on if you don't maintain our lows just a little bit above that. Let me make that short-term time frame. This is in our current range here. So if you don't hold 67 cents, 66,348 would be that area of entry for me. And that would give you a little bit of some cool off here, continued cool off here on the hourly, and would give you that nice little momentum towards the upside here. Prime oscillator does have that bearish divergence, and that's where all of this downside's kind of coming on in, and you might see that kind of get that bounce in action at about 67 cents and would give you that move towards the upside. Hourly is looking a little more cooled off than that Bitcoin chart was, so kind of keep your eye on that level. 15-minute coming on in. He called out that bearish divergence at the beginning of the show. That's that bearish divergence. And we've now got a little bit of some cool off here. We've got that prime oscillator just getting that move towards the green. Let me get it moved over there. Just getting that move towards the green. You got a little bit of clipping on out. And you've got your first reversal signal really starting to flash. But your volume's a little bit low here. And that first area where you might start to see that pickup of volume is down there at 67 cents. It does look like you're rolling over on Bitcoin right now, so glad I took some profits and moved my stop loss, because we might end up, I might just be full out of the trade, and we might not get that next little push towards the upside until a little bit later. So looking for some lower entry points might be that move to watch for. You got 67 cents and at 66,348 with that bearish divergence looking like it's playing on out just a little bit. You are waiting for that sideways momentum to start coming back in, and that'd be that area to kind of watch for below us. We've got Sassy Academy in the house. Good morning to you. Haven't seen your name here before, but I'm glad you tuned on in today. Just trying to listen into BC. Well, I appreciate you tuning on in. If you got anything you want to see go ahead, throw it on out. We might have some time to take a look at it. That was ADA. We had virtuals requested. Dang. And there's that push towards the downside we were just talking about. So might look at 66,348 instead. And if not, you've got another little entry point down at 66 cents on the dot. That's where you saw all of those rejections off of there. So let me get that other horizontal ray drawn out. There you go. 65,948. Few little areas to the bottom side to kind of keep your eye on. Virtuals, let's take a look at it. Virtual, let's see. I don't know where we've looked at it before. Not on that one. Strong pump towards the upside there. And let's get this to the hourly, see what we got going on here. Might have to zoom it out a little bit further. Take a look at that daily time frame. Nice little move towards the upside here. You are trying to at least maintain some of our highs from before. Let's get that horizontal ray drawn on out from our 4 equal candle bodies. Nice area to kind of come back to and hold as some support. It was resistance before. You have a little bit of some wicks above that, so that might be your early entry there to kind of keep your eye on. So few areas below that as well. That's going to be about $1.17 if you don't maintain some of that movement there. It does look like we're seeing a little bit of some toppiness here on the daily, but if you can hold up $1.36, you could really get some continuation towards the upside there. Let's get a fib pulled on up from our lows to our high here. See what we're looking at. All right, so it does look like that golden pocket would be that area of interest in between our two support areas. That's coming in at $1.24. That's that secondary area of interest if you don't hold $1.36. Pretty much the midline between your 50% line and your golden pocket there. Let's take a look at this hourly, see what's going on. Hourly looking like you could see a little more cool off, and that would be that first real area of interest for $1.36 being that nice real bouncing area. You've got a little bit of cool off here on your volume, and you're really waiting for some volume to start picking back up and that money flow to start coming back in, and that might be the first area where price starts to get a little reversal at, because you might see that money flow starting to come back in at $1.36, and if it doesn't, really continuing down towards that golden pocket would be that move to watch for. 15-minute in the morning, looking like you're getting a little bit of some continued rollover there on your MACD and your prime oscillator. MACD and prime oscillator getting that little bit of a rollover. You're printing green candles on the histogram and your prime oscillator is in the green though, so seeing a little bit more sell off, not too unexpected, gives you that nice little continued cool off there, that ability for a third reversal signal. Your volume is kind of starting to pick back up here in the morning, so you would have to break below $1.43, which is our local support, before you look to $1.36. If you maintain $1.43, you could really continue towards the upside though. So would look for $1.43 to break first before you look for that $1.36. A lot of this was quick movements towards the upside. If you maintain $1.43, then looking back towards the upside might be that move to watch for. But we're getting a lot of sideways momentum here, so that could be your cool off instead of that nice strong move towards the downside. So keep your eye on $1.46 first. See if that holds. If that holds, getting a little bit of an entry at this level might not be the bad thing to kind of watch for. You do have some resistance way up here at $1.57. So that's an upside level to kind of keep your eye on. And that would be that resistance area I'd kind of keep my eye on at if you maintain that 143. If not, and you dip back down, getting that long to our support area at $1.43 might be the move to watch for there. We had Soros requested. Never taken a look at that one. Jesse said it's on the base network. So let's take a look at Soros. Let's get it zoomed on out here. I'm assuming it doesn't have a lot of history. It has more history than I thought it would. Massive sell-off here. You broke below our support at 11141. That's a lot of ones there. And it looks like you're seeing that resistance at that point as well. So as you can see here, you're getting that rejection off of 11141. So does look a little bit worrisome. You do have some nice strong support below us at these very equal candle bodies, and you're seeing a lot of bottoming action here on your oscillators. So that could give you that move towards the upside there. Strong resistance is 07880. Let's get that horizontal ray drawn out there. And that'd be that area to kind of keep your eye on. We did reject off of that this morning. If this is our bottom and you are going to continue towards the upside off of it, let's get that fib pulled from the high to the low there and see what we might shoot for. Looks like that 236 is also coming in line with that resistance. So that's that area that we will need to get above first to continue with any kind of bullishness. You do have a level directly above us at about 12.5 cents. That's going to be a short-term time frame resistance area. Let's get that drawn on out, make it a little bit thinner. That's that area to target if you get above our 236 here. So let's take a look at this hourly, see what's going on here. We've got that nice continued sell off, rejection off of the 236 and the rollover, so a lower entry point as we're trying to break below the highs from there is going to be the highs from back here at 08858. So let's get that short-term horizontal ray drawn on out for you. That'd be that bouncing area I'd really keep my eye on for now and see if we can get that money flow to really continue with some bullishness there. It's looking nice and green for now. You do have a little bit of sideways momentum coming on in and that prime oscillator and MACD. So nice little bouncing area to kind of keep your eye on as we see a little bit of some sell off this morning. We do have that 15-minute in the morning looking like you might see a little bit of short-term bouncing action but you do have some strong resistance directly above us at 10 cents. So that's that local resistance we'd need to get above to continue up to 11 cents there. So kind of keep your eye on that one. Might get that push towards the upside, get that rejection off of 10 cents, and then continue on to 0881. So that was Soros. We had Zebek requested. We can get through that one real quick, and then we will save some of those other ones for tomorrow. So Zebek, let's see what's going on with that. Looks like it's breaking below an area that we called out before. That was 00393. We failed to get up to 00422. That was that area we're kind of hoping for some topping at. Faltered just a little bit short of that, and we did see that nice strong rollover off of this. We're seeing a little bit of some bottoming action on the 15-minute, but I would look for a secondary bottom. So hourly also looking a little bit bottomy. You do have some oversold signals, but you're not seeing any reversal signals starting to flash yet. And you do have that you do have that True 7 clipping on out. But like I said on one of those other assets, when you see that True 7 clipping on out, you might continue to see a little bit more of some sell-off there. So our strong support level down here is going to be 00384. 445 to kind of keep your eye on. We got several wicks off of that area. That's that area of interest on the shorter term time frame as we lost 00393. Might see a little bit of bouncing action on that level, and if not, coming down a little bit further might be the move to watch for. So let's see what that daily was looking like. Daily seeing that sideways momentum coming on in, but you are getting a little bit of some worry here as that could continue with some rollover. So we do have that entry point way down here that we were calling out at 00359. So that'd be that real nice area of entry if you don't maintain some of this area here. Let's get that zoom back on in, take a look at that 4 hour rolling over there. So if you don't hold 00384, looking down towards the downside here of 00359 might be that entry point. You do have a small area above that where you could see price holding up at, coming in at 0037. That's a bit of a higher term time frame level to kind of keep your eye on. So let's get that stronger first area coming on in for you. There we go. We got a few strong levels towards the downside where we might see some bouncing action off of if you don't maintain 0038445. All right, let's see. Y'all talking about the weather. Ada Ace looks like he's at the highest temperature. He's got me beat. It's 52 degrees here. So yeah, nice and chilly. I've been waiting for it though. It's been about time. You know, I was over summer. It's a little bit kind of a pain when you're wrong button. Wrong button there. I don't know. There we go. I don't know why it sent me over to that screen, but we've got the end of summer rolling on in. Fall weather is in full gear. Looks like Caliphant's getting that snow. JR isn't getting snow just yet, so Mr. Canada not seeing that snow, but hopefully we have a nice fall. We get a little bit of some upside action because it is nice and needed. We need a little bit of some pumpage so that people can get out of some alts, and we're starting to prep for the bear market in my portfolio. So I'm waiting for another little exit point on some Bitcoin price action. As I said earlier, 132,000 looks like an interesting level for Bitcoin to go to. We'll kind of have to see if we can get that nice green money flow and some price holding on up at 111,800 first and continue on up to 118,000. So that's those few levels towards the upside and a few levels towards the downside. But until next time, we've got 2 other shows here on the Piper Academy that you need to tune into every single day. We've got that morning market report at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, best place for the breakdown of the macro. We've also got Trading with OC at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and that's a great place to be if you like to trade, if you like to make money, and you like to have some fun. But until next time, make sure to wake up, because today's going to be a good day.
Wake up, charts glowing like a sunrise dream. Coffee in my cup, got the tickers on the screen. Wallet looking heavy, but my heart stay light. Stacking sets, not stress, yeah, we'll be alright. Late nights in the bear zone, learn to fight alone. Now the green candles burning through the monochrome. Every dip's a lesson, every loss a line. We're writing our story one block at a time. Well, good morning, crypto, the world's still spinning slow. But our coins keep climbing where the fiat won't go. Another day, another chance to grow. So plug in the stream, let the markets flow. Screens flash red, but I don't lose faith. Pain breeds patience, that's the trader's grace. From the bottom to the top, we just play our role. Turn volatility into solid gold. We've been broke, we've been bold, chasing dreams that can't be sold. Every block, every code is the anthem of the new age road. Good morning, crypto, yeah, it's time to go. Stack your dreams, let the future show. We ride the waves through the highs and lows. Good morning, crypto, let the whole world know. Wake up, log in, and light that spark. The bull's out early, let's make our mark.